Welcome to this showcase of Coordinate Converter, a tool that I have created to help me with targeting units and creating routes in DCS World. I'm going to demonstrate this tool using the FA18, and I usually use two screens, but I will be showing single screen operation. To make things easy, I have created the feature to have it always on top. So when DCS is in focus, it will stay on top. There's three main regions on the main page here. In the top left corner is the input, where you can manually input coordinates in either lat long decimal seconds, decimal minutes, MGRS, UTM, or with a bullseye reference. In the bottom left, we have the output in all the formats, as well as the buttons to add it to the list on the right, to replace the selected entry in the list on the right, or to set that point as the bullseye. Additionally, there is the MGRS precision that will automatically round the MGRS coordinates down to that many digits, up and down, move entries up and down the list. And to the right is the current list of coordinates that are entered already. In the menu, we can load and save the list as a file. In DCS, we can stop transfer the list to the jet. We can get the current camera position coordinates to the input. We can import a list of units, and when we can select the aircraft. Usually you would only use auto. It automatically selected F18 when I started the mission. But this is helpful if you want to pre-plan a mission for other people ahead of time and enter aircraft specific information. For example, I can turn off auto. I can go then select Apache, and then I can enter Apache specific waypoint data, like the waypoint type and the waypoint ident. But that is not required. We will stick to the auto for now. This message pops up because we are on F18 and the program cannot determine some of the settings. For instance, the program needs the precise setting to be on for this to work. Let's get started then. To make things even more clear, I can go to settings and enable transparency 25%, and now I can see what's going on in DCS. Additional settings include where to put the reticle, which screen. It automatically defaults to your default screen set in Windows. When the reticle is shown, it automatically detects when you are in the F10 map, but you can also turn it on always or never. When it's never, it will never show, even if it's in F10 mode. We will stick with F10. The camera position mode gets the camera altitude or the terrain elevation under the camera altitude when you press the import button. Always on top is the same as this button, and transparency we just showed. The buttons are transfer the list to DCS, same as this. Stop is stop transfer to DCS, same as this. This gets the current position to the input, like so, and this we will cover later. Let us make a route. Let us go here, click add, and you will notice a point has been added to the list. These buttons change the coordinate format that is displayed in the list. Let's go MGRS. Then let's go over here, put it in the input, add it to the list. Then, like right on the airstrip, put it to the input and add it to the list. You will notice that it's defaulting to above ground level to 0 feet, and over here it shows the actual altitude of that point in feet. And if we check that in DCS in the top left, 33 feet, that's alright. And then let's come back around and land on Kobuleti right there. There we go. Now we have on waypoint 2, we want to edit that and give it a name. You double click it to bring it to the left, and then you can call it whatever you want in the label. Click replace, and then it has been altered. Same here, let's call it Kobuleti. Save that, there we go. The label is only for yourself in the F-18, but if you are in the Apache or the Hornet, the Apache or the A-10, it will actually put these names in as free text for that point. Now for something else, you will notice that we have 8 targets here, and as we so happen to have on the wing, we have 8 JDAMs. So let's make use of these JDAMs and drop them on these targets. So what we do is we place the camera on there, and we click this button, the import button, or in the DCS import units, that's the same thing. And you will notice that it pops up the unit import list. This fetches automatically all units in DCS, provided that the export function is enabled by the server, and it is also always enabled in single player. You can filter the unit that it fetched up here by coalition, by type, and by range from a point. By default it uses the camera position, but we can also use the strip. For example, click apply, and it will fetch all units within 1 mile of that position. If we pick, for example, the airfield, click apply, nothing happens. There's no units there. So here we can sort the units however we want. Pretty useful is the class. That's the class DCS says the unit is. I know it's a truck and not a tank, but DCS classes it as a tank. But you see no weapon, and then a T-55 would say gun, for example. So that way you can place all your radars on top, and then the launchers, and then maybe AAA and whatever priority you want. Over here we can determine which ones of these targets we want to put in the list later on. I want all of them, and I want them sorted by range. So we get the 4 inner targets first, and then the 4 outer targets. We click import, and you notice that it has automatically populated the points here. But I don't want these guys as waypoints, I want them as weapon points. So what I do is I double click them. I change the weapon, the type to JDAM Mark 82, that is the GBU 38 pre-planned target. And it automatically selects pre-planned 1 step. Now what step does is it automatically steps to the next station after it put in this station. So replace that, and I'm gonna do that for the others. Now we have 4 stations with 2 GBU 38 each. So after 4 times step on PP1, what I have to do is switch it up to step PP2 step. There we go. Now let's say I made all that effort to put these points in. Maybe that's a mission you want to replay, or you want to send these points to your friends. So you save that. Yes, I want to overwrite this file, and now you could send that file off to your friend. Now all that's done. Let's get back into the jet. We make sure precise is boxed, and if you want to enter weapon station, you have to make sure that you are not in air-to-air mode and that no weapon up here is boxed. So if it was this would not work. And all you have to do then is you press play. I'm going to press play, and I'm going to disable the always on top option, and let's watch it work. So while that's doing its thing, this program supports most of the jets right now. It supports the A-10C, both versions, the KA-50, both versions, the F-18, as you can see right now, the Apache, and also the JF-17. The F-16 is supported. Currently unsupported, but in progress if the F-15E and the Mirage 2000. But I do not own these airframes, so testing is going to be a bit slower because I have to rely on other people. And so now you can see it's putting in the pre-planned targets. In this case, what you have to watch out for is it automatically sets heading undefined, and it sets the angle and velocity to the default values of 60 degrees impact angle and velocity 700 feet per second impact speed. If you want to set your own values there, you have to do that after the fact. So this is gonna take a while. So while that's doing its thing, I might as well take off. Check flaps down, yes. Set trim. That is fine, let's go. Don't mess with any of the buttons while it's doing its thing. Otherwise it might change the UFC to something else, or the change the MFDs. For example, if I pressed air to air right now, it would change the left MFD around and I would screw things over. So be aware of that. Alright, flaps up. Oh boy. Ah, well, and there we go. The lag killed it. So what you do in that case, you just press stop. And then you have to figure out where you were when you put the points in. I will put an active pause for this. So it was on the second PP point. So what you do then is, all you have to do is you select everything up to that point, press spacebar to deselect those guys. and then you just deselect the weapon like so and press play again. So if something happens, you can recover like that. So that's our first waypoint in the ocean. Now all we have to do is select the GBU, go to JDAM display, select all of them, go to the mission page. So remember we selected the 4 inner ones first as PP1. That's what I'm gonna drop on first, so I'm enraged for the second drop when I get there. Here's our second point over this way. We have to align the iron nest though for the bombs. It's gonna take around a minute, well, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But we have passed some time since we turned them on. And finally, right on target is that thing, but I'm gonna put an active pause again. And I'm gonna speed things up. There we go, JDAM is aligned. Let's run in. Oh, we're still on active pause. As you can see, the point is right on target. The trucks have been set to not to move, so I get more cinematics out of this. And we are in range, so let's drop our bombs. And all you have to do now is step through all of your weapons, set them to PP2. There's no better way for the Hornet, unfortunately. Drops the other bombs. And let's see what they do. Oh, I didn't turn them on, did I? Well, that's good, because I forgot. But the program automatically sets the E fuse for everything but J-cells. I mean slams. They set them for J-cells, they don't set them for slams. Oh, one missed. Too bad. Alright, let's clean that up.
Altitude. Altitude.
There we go. And that's all there's to it. Thanks for watching. You can find this program at the link provided in the description from my GitHub page.